She arrived in the valley on a quiet morning, when snow muffled every sound and the only direction was deeper into the pines. Each step pressed deeper into the quiet. The pines stood like old witnesses, patient and unmoving. This was the place. Flat ground, open sky above, mountains watching from the distance, and enough space for something small and warm. The ground was firm beneath the snow, frozen but workable. She knelt and felt the cold earth with her palm. With wooden stakes and simple twine, she drew the boundaries of what would become her shelter. 20 feet wide, 24 deep. She cleared the small brush first, cutting each stem at the base. The cabin needed bare ground to stand on. She walked the rectangle 100 times, pressing the earth flat beneath her boots, a foundation of footsteps. From the frozen creek bank, she gathered gravel and stone. Each piece would help level the corners where wood would meet earth. 4 small piles of gravel marked the corners, a simple beginning for something that would hold winter at bay. Not every tree was meant to stay. She chose the straight ones, the healthy ones, taking only what the forest could give. The saw bit into the wood, each pull bringing the tree closer to falling. She worked in rhythm with her breath. The tree fell where she intended, opening a vertical line in the gray sky. The forest gave its first piece of the cabin. She pulled the tree across the valley floor, leaving a dark line in the snow. The first log arrived at the building site before the light began to fade. Log by log, the pile grew beside the clearing. Each one carried the weight of the trees that had stood there for decades. The frozen ground fought back. Each scoop of the digger brought up chunks of earth that steamed in the cold air. 4 piers, leveled and firm. The cabin had feet to stand on now, lifted just above the snow that would come. The first beam bridged the gap between piers. She could stand on it now and imagine walls rising from this line. The sill plate was square and true. She walked its perimeter like a promise she was keeping to herself. She checked each corner with a level. The bubbles stayed true. The cabin would rise straight from the frozen ground. The A-frame needed perfect angles. She cut each rafter twice, measured once, and let the morning cold sharpen her focus. On the snow, she built the first triangle. 2 rafters meeting at the peak, a cross brace holding them true. She pulled the rope hand over hand, and the triangle rose from the snow. For a moment it swayed, then found its place. The second triangle rose faster than the first. Side by side, they began to look like the bones of a home. The cabin stood in skeleton form now, open to the sky. She walked beneath its peak and felt the shape of shelter taking hold. One by one, the purlins crossed the rafters. The open skeleton began to close, layer by layer. The roof closed over her head, plank by plank. By late afternoon, the sky was no longer visible from inside the frame. She cut a hole in the new roof where the chimney would rise. Light poured through the opening like a promise of warmth. Tar paper and battens sealed the roof against snow. She worked until the last light faded, the cabin growing darker beneath her. Overnight, snow found the new roof. The cabin looked older now, as if it had always been there, waiting for her. The walls began to close the gaps between the A-frame legs. Cedar against the cold, board by board. The window opening faced the mountain view. She measured it twice, imagining glass and the light it would let in. The first window caught the gray light and held it. Through the glass, the snow fell silently, already separated from the cold. The door was hung. The windows were sealed. Now the cabin could hold the warmth she would build inside. For the first time, she stood inside looking out. The snow fell against the glass, and the cabin felt like a different world already. She built a thermal blanket beneath her feet. The cold would stay below the floor, not climb into her bones. The ceiling closed the peak, warm cedar against the cold roof above. The room grew smaller and safer with each plank. The sleeping loft looked down from the rear of the cabin, a place to rest above the warm air that would rise from the hearth. The ladder was simple and strong. She climbed the first few rungs and felt the loft waiting above. The floor grew smooth under her knees. By evening, the cabin had a surface she could walk on in her socks. The creek offered its stones, rounded by centuries of water. She took only what she could carry, leaving the rest for spring. Mortar mixed in the cold. She worked quickly before it stiffened, the smell of wet stone filling the cabin. The first stone went down at the corner. She laid it true, and the hearth began to grow from the floor toward the chimney opening above. Stone by stone, the hearth climbed the wall. It took 3 days for the chimney to reach the roof, each stone chosen and set by hand. The mantel was the last piece of the hearth. She stepped back and saw the fireplace hole for the first time. She built a table to hold her meals and her books. Simple legs, a flat top, and the morning sun across the wood. The rocking chair went beside the hearth. She sat in it for a moment, then stood again. There was still work to do. The bookcase stood against the wall, empty for now, but she imagined it filled with stories for the winter nights. The wool mattress went up to the loft. She would sleep warm, with the fire's heat rising to meet her. The quilt was a patchwork of memories, stitched by hands she remembered. Now it would keep her warm in the mountains. Lanterns hung from the beams, candles lit against the gathering dark. The cabin began to glow from within. The match flared and the kindling caught. Fire breathed into the stone hearth for the first time, and the cabin exhaled warmth. From outside, the cabin was a small star fallen into the forest. Smoke rose, windows glowed, and the snow fell around it like a blanket. The kettle went on the stove. She would wait for it to sing, a small ritual in the warmth she had built. She poured the tea and carried it to the rocking chair. The warmth was in the mug and in the room and in her chest. The book was old, the pages soft. She read by firelight, and time dissolved into the crackling of the hearth. Through the window, the snow fell without sound. The cabin held the warmth, and the storm could not reach her. The stew had been simmering since afternoon. She stirred it slowly, and the cabin filled with the smell of simple food and fire. She ate slowly, looking out at the snow. The stew was warm, the room was quiet, and she was not lonely. She washed the dishes by lantern light. Simple work, quiet hands, the cabin settling into the night around her. She climbed to the loft and pulled the quilt to her chin. The fire burned down to embers, and the cabin held her like a closed hand. The valley held the cabin like a secret. Smoke rose, snow fell, and somewhere inside, she slept. Winter had found her, but she had built a place to stay.
Hello viewers, thanks for watching. Please like, support, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to leave a comment.